Hello and welcome. I am Chris Laidlaw, registered dietitian and professional home economist with Twin Bridges Nurse Practitioner Clinic. Thank you for listening in today. We're going to talk about some simple recipes from our pantry staples. Like me, you've had the opportunity to have your daily life impacted by the COVID virus. We've gained a new appreciation of the words pantry staples. Today, I would like to take a moment to reflect upon and share some of my favorite go-to recipes that are from simple pantry staples. Each one bringing back fond memories of family and friends and colleagues with whom I've cherished moments cooking in the kitchen. Let's open my recipe box and explore. Some of the basic ingredients are shown here in front of me, and for a simple staple pantry list, refer back to my grocery shopping video. Flour. Always store in an airtight container and don't forget to label. I'm using this simple red lidded airtight container. It's great for muffins or loaves, tea biscuits and pancakes, and you can store white flour approximately 1 year in an airtight container or 3 months for whole wheat flour. Consider when you're making pancakes, make an extra large batch, cool and freeze, and they're ready to pop into your toaster for a quick breakfast. Be sure not to make your pancakes bigger than your toaster. I've certainly made that mistake before, so consider making them about the size of a slice of bread. Don't forget, you can make your own version of whole wheat flour in a pinch, simply adding natural bran to white flour. The ratio I use is approximately half a cup of natural bran with 1.5 cups of white flour to make 2 cups of whole wheat flour. The natural bran is at the beginning of my display at the front. Sugar. It can be white sugar, brown sugar, honey, or even molasses can be used as a sweetener in a pinch. However, the flavor profile will be a little bit different. Consider when baking using half to a third of the recipe calls for in sugar. And that will depend upon your taste buds how much you will start with. And you know that our taste buds adapt over time for reduced sugar in our diet. With sugar and sweeteners, store for approximately 1 year in an airtight container. Also a good tip to keep on hand is vanilla extract, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. Store for 1 year. Oatmeal, bran, flax, hemp hearts are also good things that I use to increase fiber in my recipes. Did you know that blended oatmeal to a flour consistency, and I just blend mine in the blender, can be used for up to about half of the traditional flour called for in a recipe? A great way to increase fiber and also great for cholesterol management. 1 cup of oatmeal is approximately 150 calories, 4 grams of fiber, which is about half insoluble and half soluble fiber, 6 grams of protein, and it's rich in thiamine, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, manganese, selenium, and iron. Be sure to always check your expiry dates, and my rule of thumb is used in about 6 months. Also, my flax flour here, I like to store it in an airtight Ziploc container it comes in, but be sure to store these 2 ingredients in your refrigerator as they can become rancid. Another pantry staple at my house is peanut butter. It's a great source of protein and has the essential vitamins and minerals such as magnesium, potassium, and zinc. Be sure to always check the expiry and use within 2 months of opening. It's great for adding to smoothies, old-fashioned peanut butter cookies, and I like to use some blended oatmeal or whole wheat flour in my traditional peanut butter recipe. You can also refer to the website for today's session, as I have posted a tahini sauce recipe that can be used with black bean burgers, and peanut butter is the substitute that I use for tahini paste. Skim milk powder. Often it's reserved for camping trips at my house, however it's making a comeback during this COVID-19 epidemic. The ratio I use is 1/3 of a cup of skim milk powder to 1 cup of water. When you open your dry skim milk powder, use within about 1 month of opening. So start by purchasing a small amount and experiment with your favorite recipes in the kitchen. Simply substitute reconstituted skim milk powder anywhere milk is used. Canned tomatoes and broth, we always look for low sodium when possible. Rice, maybe even perhaps quinoa and pasta. They're great starters for soups, casseroles, and side dishes. We always recommend going for a whole wheat choice, but with today's shopping and COVID-19, you may not be able to select some of those options that you normally would. Canned tuna and canned salmon, always look for the water pack versus the oil packed. We've talked about how these are great sources of casseroles and burgers, or even a protein on top of a salad, and we know they support brain health. Canned lentils, pulses, beans and corn, be sure to rinse them after opening to reduce the sodium, and check the expiry date on all the cans. Did you know that pureed pulses and legumes can be added to soups as a natural thickening agent? They can even be added to meatloaf and meatballs for a binder. That's full of protein and fiber. Pasta, store for about 1 year, and as I said, whole wheat is recommended. Cocoa is something I find in my personal pantry to give a bit of a flavor boost of chocolate. I like to add 1/3 of a cup to my traditional brand muffin recipes, and I replace that 1/3 with the 1/3 of the flour that's called for in the recipe. Or consider using cocoa with that skim melt powder we mentioned for a nice hot chocolate drink. You get to decide how much sugar to add. Olive oil and canola oil are other staples to consider to have in your pantry and use within 6 to 9 months, as those oils can become rancid as well. Onions and potatoes, great any time of year. Consider storing them for about 2 months in a dry, dark area or 3 weeks at room temperature. We recommend not storing them side by side, as onions give off a gas that will cause your potatoes to spoil even quicker. Herbs and spices, black pepper, those are other pantry staples at my pantry. And for optimal freshness and flavor, purchase only what you will use within about 6 months. Having a pantry emergency? No eggs? Not a problem. Substitute 2 tablespoons of our ground flax with 6 tablespoons of water, let it sit for 15 minutes, and use that as an egg replacement, and it's also a great vegan option. Visit our Twin Bridges site for the following recipes. Mixes, we have pancakes, tea biscuits, a basic muffin, and even some seasoned breadcrumbs that you may consider using in place of shake and bake. You can even consider crushing bran flakes or a bran cereal that you may have in your pantry, and an open box is great for breadcrumbs or a coating. Soups, I've included a curried vegetable soup, and you can use any combination of fresh vegetables or even some frozen that you might have on hand. As you can see, my carrots are a little bit past their freshness, so perhaps that's something I will explore tomorrow. Also, a homemade tomato, rice, and bean soup. Entrees, tuna casserole, salmon burgers, and see my Meatless Monday video upload for bean burgers. A slow cooker taco soup with your pantry ingredients, and simply you can have a pantry add-in as ground meat or ground chicken or ground turkey, as well as an easy macaroni and beef option. Fruit crisps, consider leaving the peel on an apple for an extra boost of fiber. You can make this fruit crisp not only with fresh apples, but consider using a can of peaches or can of pears that may be hiding at the back of your pantry. With our spring-like weather and the abundance of rhubarb, consider a rhubarb crisp. A small batch may be growing in your garden or in your neighborhood, just waiting to be picked. Here's a sample of what I picked yesterday. I know the rain didn't hurt my rhubarb, and it will soon be ready for harvest again. 1 cup of rhubarb has only 26 calories, about 1 gram of protein, 1.1 actually, very little fat at 0.2 grams of fat, 5.5 grams of carb, and 2.2 grams of fiber. It also has lots of other vitamins and minerals and is a very good source of vitamin C, vitamin K, potassium, and manganese. A little adventurous, I must say, physical distancing and less frequent trips to the grocery store and more time at home has given me the perfect opportunity to try making yogurt in my Instapot. I was amazed at how easy it was and how great I could Add a lot of flavor and variety and freshness to meals that were a little bit lacking in the fresh department towards the end of the week when my pantry staples were getting low. The next time I'm able to pick up some skim milk powder, which for me happens to be in the same category as being able to purchase yeast, I just can't find it. However, I'm going to experiment with half the fluid milk and half my reconstituted skim milk powder. Yogurt can be a great base for a marinade, especially on chicken. It can be added to muffins and reduce a bit of the oil used in the recipe. It's great for a breakfast or a snack, or simply top it with some dried cranberries or raisins that you may have in your pantry. Today, I enjoyed mine with some of my stewed rhubarb. You can even freeze yogurt as an ice cream-like dessert. Add a little bit of vanilla if you're using your natural yogurt from your Instapot, and fold in some fresher frozen fruit. You may even consider a shaving or two of dark chocolate on top, or a sprinkling of mini chocolate chips. Be kind, be patient, laugh, and have a lot of fun in the kitchen. Watch for more upcoming video chats and soon some Zoom live cooking demos from Twin Bridges. We're here for you.